Just giving a little bit introduction. So I'll be talking about the softwares to be which are being used pertaining to orthodontics, and how that software helps in planning of certain cases which have craniofacial anomaly or orthognathic surgery where the jaws are deformed. So I will just talking, and I made two videos. One is regarding 2D planning, and another is total 3D planning pertaining to Dolphin software, which is very commonly and widely used in orthodontics and surgical field. So let me share my screen. Sure. I'm not able to share. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So broadly, we can classify our treatment planning software into three categories. This category is not given in books or somewhere else, but I just felt that primarily in terms of orthodontics, it can be broadly classified into three cases. One, the software which are based on the probably the intraoral scans, where we form the e-models, which we have talked in detail in the last two sessions. I'll just also touch this time also. And second is orthodontic cephalometric treatment planning software. So this is based on not on the 3D data, but on the 2D data, where we have lateral cephalograms and the photographs of the pictures, photographs of the patient. And the third one is the orthodontic surgical treatment planning software. So this is based on the CBCT data. So every software requires some input. So the intraoral scan is primarily needed for the planning system in the models part, and 2D cephalograms and photographs for the 2D planning, and for 3D we needed CBCT scan. And if we have 3D facial photos, that would be very nice. So there are plethora of softwares which exist in the market, and market is full of them. So these are few commonly, if we talk about the which are based on the intraoral scans or remodels. There are so many companies. Almost every company is now coming with their own softwares. So there is no end to it. But most of them have some common things, and some of them will have some different to make it more attractive for the buyers. And in terms of 2D digital cephalograms also, this exists till now also, and this existed before 3D planning as well. So there were softwares related to that also. So Dolphin is amongst one of them, which was initially 2D and then it became 3D. And there are numerous other softwares: NemoSap, QuickSap, DoctorSap. So they're all 2D planning softwares, where the image is 2D, not a 3D image. And if we
Dr.
come on,
Vinay, sorry to interrupt. Would you like to change your slide? There are comments that the slides are probably not moving.
okay,
Just check if they are changing.
from my side, it is changing.
We can still see AIMS Jodhpur.
Oh my God! Just a minute, ma'am. I will reshare it then.
Yes, now maybe the left hand side slides are also visible to us. So maybe it's on not on screen show slideshow mode.
It's on there. most commonly used to use Zoom platform. So probably I not much. Let me stop sharing and let me start sharing again. Now what is visible, ma'am?
QuickSef, NemoSef, AutoCAD, Dolphin Imaging.
Now it's moving.
Uh, this I suppose the
I'm
second.
moving slides.
Just change your slide again.
I'm moving it, ma'am.
No, it's stuck at 2D based on 2D digital self and 2D facial photos.
I don't know why it's not moving then. Can anyone guide me? Because
Would you want to stop sharing and reshare again?
I have tried that, ma'am.
Okay.
So
Mm.
in the column of share, it shows your entire screen in window or tab. I am just clicking window every time. So is that the right way to do that?
Sumit,
Share the entire screen. Try doing share the entire screen.
So, but in entire screen, I am not able to see that presentation which I have on the entire screen. Okay, let me try that part. But
it is changing now.
okay, fine. I think entire screen. I have to select every time entire screen.
Okay.
Okay. So, thirdly, we were talking about the 3D planning. Sorry for the interruption. Thirdly, we were talking about the 3D surgical planning software. So, again, the plethora of software exists in the market, but I think ProPlan, in terms of craniomaxillofacial surgeons, has acquired a sizable number in the market, and then Dolphin is more popular amongst orthodontists. So, these two, I have a little bit knack of them. So other software also exist. So I'll be touching on the Dolphin part. Then coming on to the e models based, we have talked about that these are the e models and what our possibilities are there on e models. This is pertaining to only to orthodontics, so I will not go into the detail where we can measure all the tooth weights, overjet, overbite, our bracket placements, and then orthodontic setups are possible on these 3D planning softwares. Then we can do virtual treatment planning. We can like we align the jaws, we can align the teeth as well in 3D planning, and we can integrate our models, the 3E models, into the surgical treatment plan is one another area of this. And then we can of course make 3D splints. And nowadays, as the aligner technologies, or what we call as clear aligners or invisible braces, are being popular, they again make use of this 3D model technology, and this is how we fabricate number of the aligners, and these aligners are worn by the patients. After every 2 weeks, the patient changes, and some amount of tooth movement is built. So this is about the 3D planning in terms of teeth, where we are aligning the teeth and properly positioning and them into the jaws. Coming on to the 2D planning part, where we use the cephalograms and the photographs of the patients. So in that cases, what we do is I will run through a small video. Uh, okay. So I hope it is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so this is a module of the 2D planning. So I'll just briefly run through it. What all it can do in a patient. So this is one patient we are trying to fill. So I'll just cut out and make a small video because we cannot go through the entire software. So this is one patient. We fill the patient data and then we acquire its scan onto this software. So once we are able to acquire the scan onto this, we can choose any one. So this is one, I choose a lateral cephalogram from the images of the patients. And this is this on the right hand side, I am able to see all the folders and I can see that there are so many images. So So I am able to acquire the scan. Once I am able to acquire the scan, I need to align it properly and just make what the software asks you to do. And these are all predefined steps, so I don't have much to do in them. So we align according to the software's requirements. And once the Ceph is taken, then we can, there is option of capture scan again. Then we can take the image part. So we click on to the image and select the profile image, because this is what we will be using in treatment planning part. So I'm selecting the profile image from my folder. So this is the profile image, and the software asks you to just resize it according to the predefined criteria. So I'm just, whatever frame is required by me, which will be superimposing on my 2D cephalogram, which is it's basically a lateral radiograph, which is called specifically called cephalogram in orthodontics. So I'm just cropping that. So once we crop this, we have now two data. One is this photographs and another is the cephalogram. And then we can do multiple analysis. So I'm just clicking on, there are multiple options. I'm clicking on to the one treatment plan because we are going to build. And then the software will ask you to digitize whatever landmarks which we are using in this cephalogram. First step is calibrate. So if you look at here is ruler length. So we have to calibrate this ruler length. Whatever we select, we have to calibrate onto the Ceph. So first step is, it says ruler point 1 and ruler point 2. So we will calibrate this image, and I will, because we have selected 10 millimeters, so I will select 2 points which are 10 millimeter apart, so that our image is calibrated. Then one by one, this all landmarks which we usually on a manual cephalogram, we usually mark those landmarks onto the patients. So we will marking this one by one. They are porion, orbital, then sella posteriors. So all these landmarks, once we mark onto the cephalogram, so our software is already start tracing it and start making those planes and vertical and horizontal plane which are required for the measurements. So once we do all this, here it is selecting both hard tissue as well as soft tissue landmarks. So if we don't want to do the planning part, like if you are not want to do surgical simulation, then you can select only the any analysis, and then you can do. But because we have planned the 2D analysis part, so that because 2D analysis will become the basis of 3D analysis, so we will be able to understand it in a better way. So I am marking all these landmarks, and once I am finished with my all landmarks, so there are landmarks on teeth and the other craniofacial structures. And once I complete, so now you can see that the tracing is being traced and the tooth are automatically being drawn by the software. So once this is completed, so what I will do is I will save this into a default part, and I will plan. Now coming on to the planning part, we will merge the photograph part later. So in this part, what we are going to do is we are going to plan now. So what planning we are going to do is, so I will first mark this tracing over to the spherogram, so we can calibrate it, and we have to do it onto the photograph, whatever tracing we have done. So this takes a little bit of time. Usually it takes, like, if you want to do plan for one patient, so if you do want to do it very correctly, it will take around, say, 20 minutes or maybe 25 minutes. And with practice, you may do it in 15 minutes as well. So once you are able to do this part, so what you will do is, so there is a option of, this is the now treatment simulation part. So there is option of, if I want to move this tooth, that is the incisor, in the forward position, rotation, I can move. Like in this case, my plan is to move this tooth into 4-degree rotation and then 4-degree in the anterior direction, because they are upright. So I want to propose proper. And in this case, I have planned the advancement of the mandible. So what I will plan in 2 days, I will put the values. Let's say I want to advance my mandible by 6 or 7 millimeters. So I will build that 7 mm, and then some amount of into the genioplasty. So let's say I plan 5 mm advancement genioplasty, 7 mm mandibular advancement, and then some amount of incisor rotation in the upper arch to allow my mandible to be forwardly placed. So you can see that this is the treatment plan which is being built on the left hand side. Whatever you plan, it will appear on the left hand side. So once this treatment is planned, now you can see that the mandible is round and patient is having a decent kind of profile. Now the next step is, once you do this part, so you have to return to the main menu and just label it that it is treatment simulation part. And once you do this simulation, you can see both the pre-treatment and the post-treatment images together. So I'll just quickly run through it. So in this, so now you can see this is pre-treatment and this is post-treatment, where the mandible is being advanced. So just to show you, I'll remove this, try to remove this tracing parts so that you can easily visualize what treatment plan is built. So the more accurate is your tracing, so like you're seeing gap in the lips, you will not see. This is the post-treatment part. So this is pre-treatment, and now I am putting it crossed together. So now you can see that. So this is pre-treatment and this is post-treatment. So this is absolutely nothing to do with the cuts in the maxilla mandible. This is pure 2D planning based on the cephalogram and the algorithms. This was the version which was existing long back, but before 3D surgical planning came into. Now the gap in the lips or whatever morphology you see, this is not as accurate as, because your cephalometric tracing has to be as accurate when you superimpose onto the lateral cephalograms. So this is how you plan in 2D in Dolphin. So many of the softwares do have 2D planning, because 3D planning software itself comes very expensive. Like we have the licensed version of 2D and 3D, but 2D we have like 15 licenses. So my residents can use this 2D planning anytime when they want. But for 3D planning, we have only one license. But by this it means once it is being used on the main server system, that only that will be used for 3D planning. Other software which the residents have downloaded onto their laptop, they will only be able to use the 2D planning. So license for 2D is separate and 3D is separate. So this is 2D planning part. So I'll just stop this video and so So this was about the 2D planning part. Now coming on to the, because we will talking in detail about the 3D planning. So again, multiple software. So I'll just try to make sense of this 3D planning part. So I'll try to share another video. So my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm navigating through now the,
No, there is something, some change in the screen of yours now.
so this is visible?
You can see a CT folder icon.
Okay, so now what we are doing is I've opened another small video of the 3D planning which I have made. So what I am doing here is, so like we opened the 2D software, again I am opening new patient. So now here you can see there is option for new patient from DICOM. So what I will do is I will take the DICOM image now. Earlier I was taking the 2D image. Now I will take that DICOM data. So I will select from the DICOM data of one of my patient. So DICOM CT data. So there you can select this DICOM DR file. And again, I've already filled those names. You can modify it if you want once you do that part. So then you have to save male, female, everything. You can enter the demographic data and then you import and label it as initial because it is pre-treatment. So we will be labeling it as initial. You can label if you're doing post-op or phase 2 or any other stage, then you can label it according. So this software is trying to extract the DICOM data, and here we see the file count 2556 slices. So now it will volumetric reconstructions. So this is what we get once we have the DICOM data onto this software. So you can lighten it or you can make the contrast sharp to make it more visible. And then there are multiple options on the left hand side. First step is to orient it. So we have to orient it on the axial plane and the mid sagittal plane, the midlines to be matched, and according to the Presta-Gallai, and we draw a vertical line and then the axial plane. And then we just select the orientation and we save this orientation. So the first step is to, like in that it was calibration, it is also one sort of calibration in 3D planning. So then we will save this image and then we will again will capture the image. So here we are trying to capture the again the I'm not very sure about the lateral part because we usually often use the frontal profile when we are doing the 3D analysis. So I will have to check whether the lateral profile in this software can be used or not. So we have not used that part. So I'm just trying to select the same photograph of the same portion from my folders so that the frontal image of that patient whose 3D data is already there. Now this is the, again, you make the frame according to what is the requirement so that it can be later superimposed. So then you click on captures and this is the image. So now again, we have two things. One is the frontal image and another is the 3D DICOM data. So this two thing, and then we come to edit. Edit part is everything in the left hand side screen. So after orientation, there is next step is build X-ray. So this is a mandatory step in this, and here the software allows you to extract the panoramic image. So this is one of the mandatory step. Panoramic means we have to build this panoramic radiograph from this. I'm not sure of what is the reason, but this is what the software is. So we will build one panoramic radiograph from this, and because it will, maybe it is future, because the next step is to do the proximal segments of the mandible and maxilla. So you can, this is, now we have built this panoramic radiograph from my DICOM data. So you can increase the contrast if you want. And once you do this step, then the next step is I'm clicking the you can have a new workup here if you want, but so you can see here there is an option of 3D photo. So now because we don't have the 3D camera, so if you have a 3D stereolithographic, that stereo photogrammatic options available to you. So if you have a 3D photograph, so it will come more handy when you give predictions for the patient. So you have the option of both 2D and 3D. We have selected 2D data here. So again, there are multiple options. You can choose upper and lower models, STL models, and integrate into your scan. And once you do that, so now to integrate this photograph, so this asks for a few landmarks. So this is the soft tissue image, and this is the image of the patient. So there are only 4 landmarks here: nasion, nostril top, subnasal, and stomach, and based on this will calibrate the soft tissue landmarks. So you just put some points, that nasion, nostril, subnasally, and stomian part, and then you put this superimpose now. So now this is superimposed image on this, and then save to database. So this soft tissue part is data. This will integrate nicely towards the end with the CT data. We'll come to that part also. So this is already, you can see that now the accuracy of this software, earlier it was not more accurate, but nowadays, because the Dolphin provides a regular update, so this has become quite accurate also. And if you have a 3D photograph onto this, then it will become more accurate. Now the next part is to mark the proximal segments, because this will form the basis of our 3D surgical cut. So the software asks you to mark this four areas. One is the mandibular right proximal segment, then the mandibular left proximal segment, and then the maxilla, and then the mandible. So we will select all these 4 frames. So you can see that there are 4 frames: 1, 2, 3, and 4 frames. These 4 frames, you just have to click, and you have to save this data. So you save this data, and now you have the 3D. The same steps will come on to this 3D data. So now you have to select these proximal segments. The software, because nowadays newer softwares, what they have is they have full image already. So whatever planning you do is onto the full image. But Dolphin has this stepwise thing. So it goes for the creation of the proximal segments, and then once you do the selecting of these proximal segments, so first the right segment, so you can see it will automatically start showing volume, and once you apply, this will be joining toward the body of the mandible later when we select the mandible again. So right segment, and then we select the left segment, and left segment once we select, so it will again, you apply. Now this right part is left segment is selected, then you select the maxilla from this 3D image. So both sides, right and left. The newer versions of the software, you can rotate all around the maxilla. Here you can have to take two sections, right and frontal and the right, and then the volumetric image is constructed, and you can see what all sections is coming in this section. So you can modify accordingly what you want. This whatever extra is there, there is a option to clean up. So we'll clean up later. So it looks to be difficult, but it is not difficult actually. Once you do it 2 or 3 times yourself, so you will be able to do it very easily. So this is how we have built the maxilla. Now we are selecting the mandible, and once we select the frontal part, so because we have already selected the right and left proximal segment, now when you will say that apply now, it will build a complete uniform mandible. So we have selected this part, so you can adjust the frame of the image because the proximal part you have already selected, and then you just select according to the occlusion, just clear it and then apply. Now you can see that add proximal segments. So you are adding the proximal segments, and you will now have the full volumetric image of the mandible, which will be used for sectioning. And now this is the full image. So if you are not satisfied with what you have got, you can just repeat these steps again. Once you get this full mandible, so there is option to clean up at the top. So you can just, what you can do is this occlusal surface of these upper teeth, you can just clean up this part. So every software is unique in their 3D planning. So this is what we usually do in Dolphin. We just clean up part, and you clean up this top as well, and just make a good mandible where we will be placing the cut. So the first step is, so maxilla we have already made. So we have combined the right and left and the anterior portion of the mandible. We have made it one section. So again, we want to clean up the maxilla part also. So we'll just clean up this maxilla part. The software allows us to do it very easily. So I thought it was very difficult, but it was once you do it yourself, it was not much difficult. Earlier, my resident used to do the most of the parts. I just had 1 or 2 sessions for that. So now I tried this, and it's not that difficult. So once you do this, now you have clean maxilla and mandible. Now, how this software decide is let's go to the next step. Once we do this, now we select the osteotomy cuts. Now you can see basically Fort one, asymmetry, 2-piece, inverted Y. So whatever, because this was a case of class 3, though I just thought of let's make it simple for understanding purpose. So you just have to select the flames. In the last lecture of Divya ma'am, last workshop, I had the opportunity to work on ProPlan also, and I think it is quite different from ProPlan. ProPlan is more advanced. I know that. So you can just do sectioning of the maxilla, and if you are not satisfied, you can just go back to the same step again. So I'm just putting this cut marks. So first step is to put the cut marks on the maxilla, so that you know the volumetric part. So now similarly on the proximal segments, you just put the cut marks. As of now, we are not sectioning it. We are just putting the sagittal cuts from where we will do the advancement or the then 3 parts here we have. One is the maxillary Le Fort one. Second is the mandibular setback. So we have placed the cuts for the BSSO, and third is we are doing it for the genioplasty. So there are multiple options. You can do the type of genioplasty you require, advancement, retraction, subapical, or reduction genioplasty. So I just select this and just place the cuts. So this is the area of cuts. So once osteotomy cuts are placed, so you will have now the next step. So next step here is to place again the landmarks. So there are multiple landmarks. You can see that similar to the cephalogram, but there are certain different landmarks also. So you start putting this landmarks, and there is ANS, PNS. So we will do this slowly and just start putting, and we have to rotate and look that in 3D as well. So whether the landmark is located at the right position. So teeth landmarks and some of the skeletal landmarks are marked, and again This is in continuous. First is the maxillary landmarks, and then is the mandibular landmarks, tip of this, and then there are landmarks on the superior portion of the mandible and condyle. Here you see the gonial angle, then near the cut, then chin side cut point, and then the condylar hinge point on the right side, and then onto the left side. Then again you mark on the left side this. So this is a one-time step. Once you do it, so you will have to mark this again onto the superimposed photograph also. So again, if you have a 3D photograph, this will give you a very good pictures. So if you have little bit of accuracy differential in this software, so if you have 3D picture, then it will be very good. So I'll just mark onto this all these landmarks. So once this the landmarks are marked onto this software, all the landmarks, lower eyelid, tip, neckline, back. So all, because why we are marking hard tissue as well as soft, because when we will advance or the surgical cuts are already placed, so when we will advance the whole of the portion of the maxilla or the mandible, the soft tissue, according to the algorithm which are there in this software, will move accordingly. So if we have not marked the soft tissue landmarks, then the accuracy may not be there. So that is why soft tissue marking of these landmarks is also an essential part of this treatment planning. So we are marking all these nasal and the lip structures on the lateral aspect and then onto the frontal aspect. So now you can see the software is automatically making the nose and the lip part. So more or less they are accurate. So, and then once we are done with it, we go to the next step. Now you can see that the this CT cuts which we have made already is integrated into this maxilla part. Now the software allows us to move the segments. So we can put the you can just simply enlarge this or just do it, or you can just simply place some values over here. So like I want to advance the maxilla by say 7 millimeters or 8 millimeters. So I'll just put on this value and your maxilla is advancing. And look at the soft tissue. So now because we have marked the soft tissue landmarks, so the soft tissue is moving accordingly. So I can do it. So if I want to do down here, so my soft tissue moves accordingly. So I am doing almost say let's say 8 millimeter of the maxillary advancement, and now you can see the upper lip has moved accordingly in this. And now I come on to the second part of the mandible. Now again I select this keyboard, and let's say I am moving the mandible back slowly, and you can see that the chin portion and the soft tissue portion is moving back along this with this software. So this is the algorithm which is already built. So you just have to place the cut. So once we do this, then the third step is, because we have placed genioplasty, so now I am the cut has already been placed. You just have to rotate, or you have to just put right, up, down, vertical reduction, excess genioplasty. You just have to make that part. So this is how your we have done all the 3 planes, and then we do little bit of, if we want to do some soft tissue adjustment, we can do some soft tissue adjustment. And this is how you can see that once you do the virtual treatment, so this you can, it is so beneficial from the patient perspective. So once the patient sees this, so he can have some fair idea that what is going to happen with the dose. Because if we simply say that hum aapki surgery karne wale, it may not make much sense to him. But once we show this 3D planning tool, and we can also make a small loop in that, so where it will show that this is how we are advancing the maxilla, and this is we put the mandible and the chin. All the 3 movements can be shown simultaneously. So this is just the one aspect of the 3D planning which we have done in one case. Obviously there are many more options to plan in whatever direction of the genioplasty. Perhaps I think that this software is not equipped like the other 3D surgical planning software of distraction placing and using the distraction. I am not very sure, because we have not actually used it, and it doesn't show in our gallery that there is any model to place that distractor, and if it can do that plan. Probably the advanced 3D surgical planning software like ProPlan, they are more advanced versions and they can have that. So this is simply from the orthognatic surgery point of view. And the last step is, once we have done this, is the splint fabrication. Now there is one important aspect to splint fabrication is that you will have all the structures and the software will guide you to what thickness of the splint you want to make, and it will make based on the existing occlusal contention. So what is recommended is that because the occlusion may not be that accurate on the 3D, that CBCT, so it is better if you want to make a splint, it is better to have the integration of the 3D model into this. There is one step, like we integrated the 2D photograph, there is a step of integrating 3D surgical model onto this CBCT. So once you do that part, of the occlusion part, so your splint will be more accurate. You can make without that also, but then you may require a little bit of adjustment during the surgical, or you may struggle a little bit. But if you have 3D model data, then probably it becomes more easier for you to have a good surgical splint, and you can select that splint at the step of the if you want to make an intermediate splint. So there is option that you want to make an intermediate plan, so intermediate splints, or you want to make a final splint, so you can have a final splint as well. So probably this is about the 3D surgical treatment planning in the Dolphin software. So we have just covered the 2D part and then the 3D part. So this is all about from my side on the 3D surgical planning using the Dolphin software. So because I have little experience of the ProPlan during that workshop, so I'm sure it is more accurate and much better than the Dolphin in terms of pure surgical plannings. So probably ma'am can throw more light on that. So I think we are having a session on ProPlan as well. So there are so many softwares, but we have Dolphin in our department, so we are using this on all 3D patients, and it's one of a wonderful tool to educate your patients and to plan your complex cases. It gives you a fair idea. So what amount of changes are you going to expect, and then it becomes more acceptable to the patients once they see all this type of planning. So thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So I was not planned for the 1 hour session. So otherwise I could have incorporated maybe another 1 or 2 module which may exist in this software. So I was not aware that my session is 1 hour. So I thought of it would be around 30 or odd minutes, but I tried to explain what this Dolphin planning software can do in terms of 3D planning. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Vinay. It was excellent lecture. Very well demonstrated about the Dolphin software. The rest of the softwares we'll be talking about tomorrow as well. So there'll be more in this week on planning, surgical planning, using different softwares, and also how to design the surgical jigs. So with this, I think everyone will have a good overview of all the softwares. So with this, I thank you, Dr. Vinay. And if there are any questions for you from the participants, the participants are welcome.
I'm open to, because this was a, because when we conduct we don't conduct, I attended the madam's conference. So it's like a full session. So it's like, 2-hour session where you go through the nitty-gritties of the software you plan. So this is a short video. Earlier I thought I would navigate through the software during presentation, but then I thought that it would take too much time, and so I just made a small video that.
I think it was good of you to make a video and showcase. It doesn't necessarily require to run, because at times when you're running the software online, there is a lag, and
Yeah, because it would start taking updates also, and sometimes it takes more time
Yes.
navigation.
Yeah.
So any questions pertaining to 3D planning of this software or other dental software, I'm happy to take them. And I'm also not very sure how many of them are orthodontics and maxillofacial surgeons who would be like, really doing all those stuff.
This is a group of engineers and doctors. So
So I thank you, and I apologize for the small glitches which happened in the beginning.
it's okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So can you see the chat box if there are any? Okay. So nothing much on the chat box.
So I think if anyone wants, you can put the question in the group. We'll try to answer them in the group if it is possible.
Okay, Dr. Vinay, with this, I thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow, same time, with different speakers on planning.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. It was a learning experience for me where I had to also prepare for this lecture. So it was again a very good learning experience. And now I'm very confident. My residents will be having tough time now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.